Welcome back to Cigar Time, your friendly Tuesday night show all about cigars. And tonight we have a very distinguished and educated panel with us. To my right is Paul.
Yes.
And to his left is Rob. I just thought I'd shake it up.
Everybody.
And to Paul's right is Scott. And to Paul's, Scott, here's Scott, right? Yeah, I should know by now, is the lovely Miss T. And our mystery smoker should say hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Oh boy.
well, that was exciting.
That's what you told me to say.
Oh, okay. Now tonight, first cigar we're smoking is the Eduardo Oscuro. And for those of you who don't know what Oscuro is, I will let Paul explain what an Oscuro cigar is.
Well, historically, an Oscuro is exactly what the word means, dark. And they are dark cigars.
They are.
Yes, they are.
Is that it?
Thanks for watching. The wrapper is an Ecuadorian Corojo Oscuro wrapper. It's got Ecuadorian Sumatra, Corojo, and Nicaraguan fillers.
Sumatra?
Sumatra.
Oh, Sumatra.
Yeah. Fillers. That's the blend.
Aha.
Aha.
Okay.
They like the
Well,
tripa?
just for people that want to know, traditionally, an Oscuro is not a Maduro in that it's not fermented and aged the same way that Maduros are. It's just a very dark cigar, historically. In this case, the Eduardo Oscuro is a true Maduro, however.
Now, how do they get, I know how they Maduro process, but what is the process that makes it an Oscuro?
There isn't an Oscuro process. It's just a very dark leaf that occurs that way in the natural process of doing things.
So it
Now,
just
did
happens.
everybody know that?
They didn't plan it. It just happened.
It just happened.
Okay.
And
Then
not
why
a
are they
lot,
generally darker than Maduro?
Because that's what they picked to call Oscuro.
so some companies call them like double Maduro.
There are a lot of different phrases for it in the classic color classifications, where there's a name for every color along the spectrum that tobacco wrappers occur in. Oscuro would be considered the darkest one, but that goes back to the days before they processed Maduros at all, when they were just the darkest ones they could get.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well, I think we'll start our little mini review with our mystery smoker.
Mini review, huh? Okay.
Can you handle that?
I think I can handle that.
Okay, you're a big boy now, so you should be able to
The
do
Eduardo
it.
Maduro is a very fine Maduro cigar. It has a nice sheen to it. It's not over glossy like it's fake. It's got a real nice, looks naturally dark wrapper. It's got a nice little Maduro sweetness to it when you put it on your tongue, and it's a very enjoyable cigar. I like it a lot.
Miss T?
Because at first I wasn't sure what I was going to say. It's okay. You're right. I do like the way it looks. It is very nice and nice sheen on it. Good construction. It's just not one of my favorites. Master blend.
But do you like the band?
No band on this one. What's going on here?
Hey,
Lost 2 points just for the band.
these
I
are
know.
commonly called
No,
nude.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's a good cigar.
These
Don't
are-
get me
these-
wrong. It's
here,
a good...
These are nude cigars.
nude cigars.
Nude.
Nude. They're
Nude.
naked.
I like how you say that, nude.
Nude?
Nude.
Like nude legs?
Nude legs.
No, I mean, this is a good cigar. It's just not in my top. That's all.
Scott?
Very nice construction. I agree with our mystery smoker. Very nice wrapper. Lots of smoke from this.
Yes, absolutely.
I just don't like it.
No?
He agrees with me?
Yeah, I agree
Wow.
This is unbelievable.
It is.
This is a first. And Paul?
with that. And I like everything.
Well,
That's true. You usually do.
I love the way it looks.
Uh-oh.
I like the way it tastes.
Oh,
it's,
there you go.
it's one of the few cigars that I've ever had that I actually loved the way it tasted before I even lit it.
Oh.
Wow.
It's got that Maduro sweetness, but it hits you right away before you even light the cigar, and I like that a lot.
Rob?
It does have a very beautiful oily wrapper to it. I do like Maduros. I do like it more than Scott and Tia, but it is not one of my favorites. I do get a nice toasty, woody taste to it. I like it. It's a good 450 cigar.
Wow.
Is this the best-selling cigar in our stores?
Actually, Reading, it is.
No,
It's no.
no, it's not. The 5,000, the regular
The
Suave.
Suave is.
The Suave, the Domenico, and the Especial. Are,
And the
Are you talking about for the
Blend.
whole
Master
chain?
Blend. Oh, I
Are
forgot
you
the
talking
Master
about for
Blend,
the
yeah.
whole chain? Or
no, I'm talking about the whole
just
chain.
Yeah, you're still in the whole chain.
All 7 stores, by the way, located in your neighborhoods.
I'm always out of these in Reading. I sell out.
They do sell. Now, let me tell you something. An Oscuro cigar is not for everybody.
No.
I mean, unlike certain blends that are either mild or medium, which, you know, are people's favorites, Maduro's or Oscuro is not for everybody. It has a unique taste, or at least it should have a unique taste, and you have to like Maduro's, which I happen to do. I happen to like this cigar a lot. I tend to agree with Paul on his review of this, and I think our mystery man as well. So I like it. Well, we'll have the lovely Miss Tia tell us about our first cigar today.
gonna rate
our
this
second
first? We're gonna
cigar.
rate
Oh, we're
this.
going to rate this cigar. Damn, I keep forgetting the
Oh, we
rating.
banged the
Oh, you're allowed to
table.
say that on TV?
No.
Okay.
No, but yeah,
Mystery
but you're not allowed to
Man?
bang the table.
Well, I give this a 4-0. I'll give it a 4,
Wow.
solid 4.
3.25.
Yep, 3.25.
Ah, this is a
I'll
good
go
day.
4.
Oh, I'll go
I
375.
knew you were going to say that. I knew in my heart of hearts he's going to say 375. I give it a rock solid 4.
Okay.
Which tabulated real quickly, we're at 3.87 3/4.
It's not bad.
3/4.
And now the lovely Miss Tia will tell you about our next cigar,
Okay, our
which
next
is being served to us by the lovely Miss Caroline.
Yes, our next cigar is the Padron 3000 Maduro. Thank you. It's a Nicaraguan Puro, which means the binder, filler, and wrapper are all Nicaraguan. The sizes are Churchill, Corona, Gordo, Toro,
you.
Robusto, Torpedo, and many more sizes. The flavor profile is toast and coffee beans with some more refined espresso to it, I guess, once you get to the middle, and then a touch of caramel, which you really can taste that. This is actually one of my favorite cigars. Padron, I think, cannot do any wrong when they make a cigar. What do you think?
Oh, I haven't got to that part
I'm
yet.
sorry. Okay, good cigar.
Well, now we're doing the lighting ceremony.
Yeah. Oh, let me put this
Some
out.
of us are.
Put this one out, like this one.
Oh, don't you have your own lighter?
I didn't bring it in.
Here,
What?
use my nice black one.
Ooh, yes, I'm going to use her nice
Oscuro lighter.
black one.
For some reason, my punch is not working correctly. Every time, no, seriously, every time I punch it, watch, punch, and then you're supposed to go like this. It worked. Never mind.
Like your boyfriend.
Wow.
You punch them, and after a while
I
they
don't
work.
have any boyfriends.
Wow.
You hear
What's our
that?
first
Friend.
topic? What's our
She
first
has
topic
no
today?
boyfriend.
Let's try to get this back. What's our
Cigar,
first topic today?
cigar etiquette. Yeah,
Cigar etiquette. I
Well,
think
my
we should talk
cigars
about
are always
cigar
very
etiquette.
polite.
Well, it's actually cigar. It's a
Let's
combination of
let's start with our mystery man with cigar etiquette.
Yeah, let's do that.
and cigar shop etiquette, not just cigar etiquette.
Oh, cigar shop.
Oh,
etiquette.
definitely cigar shop
etiquette. Well, one of the things I think we should talk about is when you get into a conversation with people, don't try and snatch or hog the conversation. Relax. Give everybody their chance to talk while you're sitting around and smoking. Remember, it's everybody to enjoy and everybody to share.
Gotta agree with that.
Okay.
And have fun.
Miss
Really
Tia?
Fun.
Don't come in the lounge and just take the remote and change the channel. That's very rude. People are watching television. I actually had to put a sign up. I know, isn't that terrible? Like I have,
sign-ups
I have little 5-year-olds where I go. Yeah, so also watch what cigar you pick up in the ashtray.
Thank you. I learned my lesson the hard way on that one, yeah.
You know, remember where you put it down at. You know, there you go.
Just have fun when you're in a cigar shop. That's what it's there for. I mean, we talk about the camaraderie all the time.
Yeah.
But when it comes to etiquette, clean up. If somebody's going to sit at the table or the chair or something behind you, just make sure you clean the ashtray and don't stamp your cigar out. It releases all kinds of ammonias and nasty flavors.
I have no etiquette whatsoever.
That's, I can concur with that.
I agree.
But my cigars, as I told you, are very polite.
They are polite. My biggest pet peeve is the customer who comes in, he buys a cigar, he takes it out of the cellophane, and he licks it and licks it and licks it. Like, well, and then he wants to use my cutter to cut a cigar. No, you're not using my cutter.
Suppose he's wearing sandals.
I don't care what he's wearing.
Suppose he has no socks and
Men
sandals.
should never wear sandals, period. But
Boy, there's a new rule.
that's the cigar
Is that
etiquette.
part of
Don't
cigar
wear,
shop
do not
etiquette?
wear sandals into your cigar.
Suppose you have
That's
socks on.
etiquette. Nobody wants to see your feet.
Suppose you have socks, though.
What if you
Nobody-
drop
That's
a
only
cigar on your
acceptable if you're
foot?
over
That's a
80.
good. No, but he's right
Nobody,
though.
nobody wants to see men's feet.
What about socks
Nobody.
with stripes?
No.
No.
Argyle.
But don't wet your cigar and then expect somebody to lend you their cutter. It gets all over their. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
All right.
Well, I don't mind if you wear sandals as long as you have socks.
No sandals.
I
Black
have
socks.
I'm
No
okay
sandals.
with it. Looks kind of weird, but Argyles are pretty cool.
Oh,
I think when it comes to cigar shop etiquette, it's already been said numerous times that you're here to have fun. You're here to enjoy the camaraderie. You're here to enjoy the cigars. And one of the things that I guess kind of goes along with etiquette is if you're going to patronize that store, patronize them. You know, just don't, bring your cigars.
Patronize, not patronize.
No, the real English word is patronize. Look it up in your Funkin' Wagnalls. Patronize is the English way of saying patronize.
Patronize is when
But
you're talking
we're in
bad
America.
about something.
No,
Patronizing is when you're.
No,
you're
okay. We'll
going
do it
somewhere.
your way since we're here in America.
Okay.
Patronize.
Patronize.
Okay.
And
Anyhow.
that's our,
Is there any more?
that's our lesson in
and don't argue.
English.
articulation for the
Well,
day.
there's another one too.
When you patronize or patronize your store, buy the cigars there, or as many as at least you can, because the store owner, whether it be our stores or anybody else, needs to pay rent, needs to pay employees, needs to pay utilities, and they need your business. Like I say, whether it's our stores or someone else's commonly called brick and mortar store, they need the business. They have people there to service you and help you. And if you can, just give as much business to them as you possibly can, even if sometimes it costs a nickel or a dime more, because it'll be well worth it in the end. You'll have someone in your neighborhood who you can go to for advice, go to for a wide selection that's not necessarily available in other places. And you know the cigars are fresh because you can see them, you can feel them, and you know what you're getting. And you don't have to buy, 15, 20, or 25 them at a time. You can buy one, you can buy 5. So just go to your neighborhood brick and mortar store and give them the business.
Give them the business.
And on the lines of having,
Patronize them.
on the lines of having fun is they don't always want to dominate. People don't like when other people dominate the conversation, or even you put down somebody else's cigar, like saying, well, why are you smoking that? And how about Rob? What about you with the band? Do you have a little? You always take the band off your cigar.
I always take the band off.
As I do as
Yeah,
well. I do
it's-
that too.
I like this band though, but I take the band off. Nobody wants to see what you're smoking. I don't
Really?
personally don't think. Yeah, it's
Well,
a
there's
status
another
symbol.
argument for that.
Some people leave the bands on because they want to feel like, oh, my cigar is better than your cigar. No, it's not. You're smoking a cigar that you like.
Yeah.
I don't like people who try to one up me. Oh, I got a better cigar than you have, or whatever. So I don't like that at all.
Some people just leave it on. There's no purpose behind. They just leave it on.
Yeah, some
Also,
people.
you
do,
can
not all
damage.
people
You
do.
sometimes can damage a cigar by
That's why I
removing
don't-
the
That's
band.
true. That's
Yeah.
one of the problems
Yeah.
with it.
That's
You
why
can
I leave
damage
mine
the
on till
cigar.
the end.
When I go out in public, I like to leave mine on, so people say, "Hey, what are you smoking?" So I can say what I'm smoking and where I got it from.
I can see that.
Where do you get most of your cigars from?
Cigars. Definitely in Reading.
Definitely in Reading. No, I was going to say the origin of cigar bands is kind of interesting. Going back before there were names on them or anything like that, during Victorian times, some women began to smoke cigars.
Cool.
And when they did, they were usually wearing white gloves because Victorian
Right.
women
Yeah,
wore white
wore
gloves.
white gloves.
And their gloves might get discolored by the cigar.
Tobacco, yeah.
So they would put just a plain white piece of paper, basically, around the cigars to make sure that the white gloves didn't get spoiled.
You still have some of those with the plain white bands in your humidor, right?
Some of them,
Aging, still aging.
they're getting better and better.
I figured that.
One last one, and this is etiquette for cigar shops, airplanes, trains, walking down the street. Chill out with a cell phone and screaming on it. People just talk so loud on their cell phone. Just go somewhere else and talk.
I have another one. When you go into your cigar store and you're looking at cigars and you want to choose a cigar, don't take the cigar and take it out of the cellophane and smell it and then try to put it back and
hate that.
feel it and squish it and everything like that and then put it back for the next person. That just ain't right.
It looks horrible, and it looks
ain't
horrible.
right.
It looks
It ain't
touch.
right.
It looks touch. It looks like I don't want to pick it up and buy it.
Right. Nobody wants to buy a cigar that's already been
That's all right if
decelerated.
they, that's all
Would
right
you
if they,
prefer if they smell the cellophane?
Right.
There you go. Smell the
that's all right if they
Nobody wants a
squeeze the
molested
cigar if it's in a
cigar.
cellophane. They want
Right.
to make
Yeah.
sure it's
Squeeze
fresh.
it, but don't like.
Don't
Right,
mash
don't
it.
take it
Yeah,
out
don't
and do
ma-
that.
Right. Exactly.
All right, I
Step
think
on it.
we've. I think we've.
Well, I have
I
one
think-
more thing
oh,
about
okay,
that.
Okay.
And this is a question I get asked a lot regarding etiquette. What's the proper way to respond to someone who gives you a cigar as a gift that you don't like?
You can always say thank you.
Well, that helps.
You take it.
But they expect you to smoke it
take
in
it.
front of them.
Oh, well, that's different.
Like you, Paul.
Like me.
Every time Paul gives
But
me
I
a
don't
cigar,
ever give you
light
a
it
cigar
up.
you don't like.
No,
But
you
Paul,
don't.
you just tell him, you just got a sore throat. You can't smoke right now.
Suddenly got a sore
Is
throat.
it necessary to give them back a cigar? Do you think it's a good idea to give them back a cigar?
I think it depends on what level of camaraderie you have with this person.
Right.
Sometimes that person may be just trying to dump it on you.
Yeah.
I dump it on the next person.
Then you just go to your humidor and get the last one that somebody gave it, and you re-gift it back to them. The last cigar you got you didn't like. So
Yeah,
you keep
exactly.
rotating them around.
So it's like those fruit cakes that we got at Christmas.
Exactly.
Pass it on to the next. okay?
Regift it. And if you want to properly regift fruitcakes, save it for next Christmas.
Yeah.
It's not going to
Isn't
get
that
any
weird?
worse.
They get
Oh,
better
they don't
and
go bad?
harder with age.
They age
They
well.
never go bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
they age well.
Yeah.
Yeah, fruitcake has natural alcohol in it, which preserves it forever.
There are some fruitcakes in circulation that Uncle Max actually had.
I don't doubt that.
He actually made them.
Some fruitcakes in the store.
I think we've sort of squeezed as much as we can out of this subject. So I think it's time to visit Paul. And what country are you traveling in this week?
I'm in Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua is actually the largest country in Central America. More importantly, it has more active volcanoes than any other country.
cigar.
Okay.
I could see hundreds of people rushing into their stores tomorrow. I want that cigar
volcanic
made from the
cigar.
volcano.
No, Nicaragua has more active volcanoes than any other country in Central America, and because of that, soil is incredibly fertile and rich. Surprisingly, though, the birth of the tobacco industry in Nicaragua was cigarette tobacco. And for most of the 1900s and the 1800s, that's all they grew, cigarette tobacco. It wasn't until the first Cuban Revolution, well, no, actually a little bit before the Cuban Revolution, when they brought Cuban seeds into Nicaragua. As soon as the revolution hit, some of the greatest titans of the industry showed up in Nicaragua, and some of them brought seeds with them. And when I say titans of the industry, I'm talking about people like Nestor Plasencia, Juan Bermejo, the Oliva family, and of course, at the top of the heap, Padron. And the tobaccos that they grew and the cigars that they made from those tobaccos quickly became acknowledged as some of the very best cigars in the world. In fact, they threatened to knock Cuba off as the most esteemed cigars available. And that continued right up until Nicaragua had their own revolution. And that was in 1979.
The Sandinistas.
The Sandinistas.
What does that mean? Do you know?
It's named for one of the first socialist revolutionaries in Nicaragua who was named Sandino.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
But here's a strange thing that happened right after they had their revolution, since it was two communists. They got together with Fidel and actually reached a secret agreement to completely exit the cigar industry and go back to only producing cigarette tobacco. And in order to do that and not have anybody realize that they were doing it on purpose, they worked out a deal with Castro and brought in a whole bunch of tobacco seeds that were purposely infected with blue mold. And then those seeds were distributed all over Nicaragua, and it destroyed the entire crop for a whole generation. And there were no cigars of any substance for a really long time.
When was this?
79.
79.
No kidding.
Fortunately, things changed a whole lot.
Yeah.
And some of the good seeds were put to good use. And today, cigar tobacco is grown in 3 major areas in Nicaragua, and they each have a very distinctive profile. Of course, Esteli is the home of the whole industry in Nicaragua. That's where most of the cigar factories are. And the tobacco that they grow right there in Esteli tends to be very strong, very spicy and rich. If you go up all the way north into the middle of nowhere land on the border with Honduras, you come to what some people call Jalapa, but it's really Yalapa.
Yalapa, yeah.
And Yalapa has some of the most sweet and flavorful tobaccos you can find anywhere in Central America. And just about halfway in between those two is an area called Condega. And Condega tobacco is kind of middle of the road. It's a little less flavorful, but it has some of that Nicaraguan character still. Most recently, they've started selling tobacco that's actually grown on a tiny volcanic island in the middle of Lake Nicaragua. That's called Ometepe, and you might see some cigars that say they're made with Ometepe tobacco.
I've been trying to remember that name for a long time.
Write it down.
Ometepe. Okay.
Ometepe.
Ometepe.
Many of the most highly rated cigars in the industry today, once again, come out of Nicaragua, and it has a flavor that you can immediately identify. Some people like to say it tastes more like Cuban than any other.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it tastes more like Cuban.
It tastes
like Nicaraguan, and that's a good thing.
I think it tastes
All
better
right,
than
on
Cuban.
that note, I think it's time for us to review our Padron, and we'll come back to Paul in Nicaragua on a future show. So let's talk about the Padron 3000. Mystery Smoker, chime
Well,
in,
the
please.
Padron 3000, I prefer the Padron 3000 Maduro, and that's in my, I'd say if it's not my top one, it's in the top 3 cigars I smoke. It is a fabulous cigar. I really like the Padron 3000. But what else can I say?
Miss T?
I'm going to agree with the mystery smoker. I love the construction, the band. Even though it's simple, it's very cute. Let's talk about the flavor. It's almost like a mild to me a little bit. More on the mild. I mean, it's still medium, but like more on the milder side of a medium. Really smooth. I taste the espresso. I taste the caramel. I love this cigar. Padron is one of my favorites. My favorite one is the 64 anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
And you can't, it's not possible to buy a bad Padron.
No.
Whether it's in flavor or construction, the draw, they're very consistent. It amazes me over the years how consistent they've been.
Yes.
This is also the Padron 3000, and Padrons in general age very, very well. I have a box, I just have a few cigars left from, I think it was like 2008 or 2009, just dripping with like almost like a maple flavor and a lot of the cocoa and coffee flavors. Just fantastic. I'm actually saving the last 4 or 5 cigars in that box.
Not
They were
fair.
so
I'm
good.
jealous now. Give me
Oh,
that.
man.
I want to taste
Buy
that
a box
maple.
and age them, man. It was so good.
I think this is the quintessential Nicaraguan cigar. It has everything that you like about Nicaraguans in it. It is, Padrons in general are probably the most consistent cigars in the industry.
Yeah.
Some of that has to do with vertical integration. The Padron family grow their own tobacco. They make their own cigars. They don't play games. They're very, very, very consistent. I love the flavor of this one. And I should add that the regular Padron line has supplanted every other brand and become the best-selling brand in the United States today.
Doesn't shock me.
Wow.
Rob?
Wow. I agree. I have nothing to say, but this is probably one of the best cigars in the store. The taste is incredible. It's sneaky full-bodied. It's very, very smooth. Because it's smooth, you don't get the full bodiness, but it is full body. It's very smooth. It's the best cigar in the store. It really is. The Padron,
really is full body?
It is.
Wow.
It is.
Forward body.
The 1964 that you're talking about is definitely the best cigar in the store.
It is.
You can't get a bad Padron like they're saying, and the price is
this
absolutely incredible.
This is a $6
I-
cigar.
I,
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I might chime in that I can't really add anything to it. It's a fine cigar made by real dyed-in-the-wool cigar people, and they deserve every accolade that they get. So I think it's time now to rate it.
It actually tastes more like a Cuban cigar than any other
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially the modern Cuban.
outside of Cuba.
Mystery Smoker, chime in with your rating.
4.75.
Miss T,
Beating you, 4.95.
Scott,
4.9.
Paul?
485.
Rob?
495.
I give it a 490, which brings it out to about 490, one of the highest ratings we've ever done.
It is the highest
No,
rating.
it is the highest.
It is the highest.
On the TV
I
show,
don't
it
doubt it.
absolutely
Yeah.
is.
Our next topic is going to be, what was your first job?
Ooh.
And we're going to have to be a little brief on this, so Mystery Man, you take it away.
I delivered newspapers.
Okay, Miss T?
My first job was a dietary aide in the kitchen, and I was the youngest acting supervisor they ever had at 15.
Wow.
Scott?
This could have been my worst job too, but I was a landscaper. Mowed lawns, and in the winter we cut firewood, and I hated every second of it.
Did you smoke cigars while you were doing it?
I probably could have, but at the time I didn't.
Paul?
I was a cashier in a porno store.
Nice.
And my job was to give quarters to the guys to drop in those old machines so they could watch
Wait, how
videos.
old were you? How old were
I
you?
was 14 years old,
That's
but
gotta
I
be a
lied
great
about
job,
my
yeah.
age.
Do you like it? How long did you keep that job?
About 4 years.
Still works there on the weekends.
That's awesome, man.
The funniest thing was watching serious-looking businessmen come in and sort of sneak to the back room and hope nobody saw them.
Nice, that's awesome, man.
Oh, man.
Mine was I was 13. I worked at Burger King for 4 years, all during high school.
Wow. 13?
13.
And what were you making an hour back then?
$2.30.
Oh my
Oh, you-
God.
Minimum wage.
You were high paid.
I was. $2.30 an hour.
And all the fries you could eat?
Yep.
Well, there you go.
Did they coat the fries or they just
They
plain
did
old
not.
fries?
Just plain old fries.
Can you get them crispy if you want?
Yeah, if you wanted to.
Okay.
Cook twice. I used to know some girl who used to go in the freezer, open the bag, and eat them frozen.
Really?
Now, just,
Yeah.
just between you and I,
Yeah.
how often do they change the oil?
Once a week.
Oh, whether they need
Every
it or
Wednesday.
not?
Every Wednesday, whether it needed it or not. Every Wednesday.
So if you were getting fries, like what time on Wednesday?
At night, at closing.
So if you were getting fries around 5:30 Wednesday night,
They were actually pretty good because they cooked the whaler,
The fish
the
sandwich?
fish sandwich in there. Oh, it was awesome.
oh
Very
my
good.
God.
So you got fishy fries?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is it my turn, I
It
guess?
is your turn.
Well, sorry to disappoint everybody, but
Once again.
once again, here
This,
I am.
this is your first job.
No, this is not even a job. I don't get paid. No, I never worked for anybody, so I had no first job. I've been on it since 12, but I've always been my own boss.
What was the first thing that you were the boss of?
Paper routes. I had kids working for me, delivering the Philadelphia Bulletin.
And how old were
My
you?
grandfather worked for the
Well,
Bulletin.
no, when I had kids working for me, about 14. I started at 12 as an independent contractor. I made 2 cents a paper. The papers were a nickel. I got a nickel on Sunday because it was a quarter. And I figured this is a good gig. So I started hiring kids. I started buying up routes. And by 14, I had 3 or 4 routes. Most of the lower part of the Winfield section of Philadelphia were under my control.
We got to go.
That's where your
It's
empire
a
started.
powerhouse.
gotta
looking
say
at the old
goodbye.
clock on the wall. It's time to say goodbye.
Oh,
So
wow.
everybody chime in.
Bye-bye for now.
Goodbye.
Smoke happy, smoke often.
Ciao for
Goodbye.
now.
On behalf
see,
of all of us at Cigar Time, we want to thank you for your cards and letters. Keep up with the comments, and please go to our website at cccigar.com. That's
CCigars.com.